Okay, party people, good morning. Yes, I've forgotten the tarot reads this week. No, I have not forgotten them this week. No, I'm not going to do them this week. There's a very serious issue that I need to address with you all. Mental health. Mental health has got many facets like religion and COVID. They can cause animosity, arguments, long extended discussions, and an awful lot of unwanted and misguided judgment. Now, mental health is something very pressing and it is absolute priority, and we all struggle to find a balance with our mental health. You can be happy clappy, tappy snappy for as long as you can try, but at the end of the day, the whole globe has been trapped in something that is, I don't even know, for getting on into our second year. I was listening to Russell Brand yesterday on YouTube. He is an absolute dude. He says it how it is. He says what we're all thinking. He speaks it with intelligence, sensitivity, but brutal, very refreshing honesty. Russell, I thank you. You have inspired me to actually speak publicly about this. Now, I am a single mum here with 3 kids. I've got a diagnosis myself of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It goes back 40 years to my early childhood days. Only 18 months ago, I was actually discharged from extended psychotherapy, EMDR therapy, back into the world again. It was a very long, extended therapy program and very, very much needed. And big up to my therapist, Z. Absolutely, completely gave me my life back, put everything into perspective, thus securing a brighter, stable, more secure future for my children and our future generations. And I thank you. However, I had no idea when I was discharged on that May afternoon in 2018 or 2019, I think it was 2019, I don't even know, but it was a long time ago, of the craziness that would ensue afterwards. I often think, had I not had that therapy, how would I be coping with this pandemic and all the craziness that follows it now? Now, a lot of you have not had the privilege to have had therapy and guidance like that. I spent 3.5 years just on the waiting list, being fobbed off. Assessment after assessment, just repetitive questions, just to make sure I wasn't having a bad day or making it up, or just basically hoping I would disappear off their list. At times, I'll be brutally honest with you, I did actually think, are they just waiting for me to top myself so that they can take me off their list? Because it certainly felt that way. That may have been a very controversial thing I've just said to you, but it's my honest thought. And I know a lot of you are very close to the edge, and that is very, very serious. And I don't dispute or dumb that down for a second. Now, given the professional stellar help that I was given, and given the fact that being a witch and being quite spiritual, I have really found my chi. I've really found my place with the universe. And also being a creative artist as well, it has really caught me at times as I was falling. And I know an awful lot of you have not had that privilege to have been able to catch yourselves that way. But I'm still struggling. In ways, sometimes I feel that I'm just clinging on by my fingertips. I am a human. No matter how much therapy we have had, how much professional help we have had, how many poxy referrals and waiting lists we're all stuck on endlessly, like those phone lines that keep you on hold and you think, am I actually connected to anyone, or are they just taking my money? Are they just taking our souls? Are they just taking our sanity? Are they just fobbing us off, hoping we'll either die, disappear, or forget about it? You keep wondering. They're ticking boxes so they think they've done the job. Sticking you on a waiting list doesn't do the job. Sticking you on a waiting list doesn't heal you. Doing a referral, sticking you on another waiting list to be on a waiting list for another waiting list doesn't help you. It is more despairing. I heard a thing on the BBC News yesterday, and it was saying that mental health is at an all-time high since World War II. This is not sodding surprising, is it? To be fair, there's so many social media posts where people are not actually speaking, but if you look closely, they are. The really overly happy couple pictures, the really overly happy children who sit there grinning together, These families are being torn apart by forced incarceration. I do not dispute that this is a serious situation for 1 second. However, most people recover from this pandemic illness, okay? Mental health lasts a lifetime if untreated. It's far, far, far more dangerous. Far more dangerous. The only thing that I have here that's keeping a fine balance is keeping my children happy, keeping myself hot showered every morning, as that's my well-being maintenance tool. The thing that drives me each day to get out of bed is the promise of a hot shower and a toothbrush. And that is one of my main well-being tools. And the fact that the only other human adult that I see is in my support bubble. And I look forward to those times. And I know that we both do. And I know that our children look to us for inspiration and support. And we, as parents and human beings and adults, are struggling enough ourselves. Yes, people have rung me from schools. Yes, they've asked me if I'm all right. To be brutally honest, it's so much easier to say I'm fine. Because what people are not talking about is the level of mental health where you're going so far, you don't want to discuss it. Because you don't want to go through it. It's bad enough that it's whirring around in your head constantly. It's bad enough you're not allowed out. And do you know what one of the worst things about this pandemic is? And I'm going to say it. It's not the threat of getting ill, because I have a rock solid immune system. I have no qualms that I would be okay, that I'm not going to die from this. But without everybody getting judgy and pointing fingers, it is everybody's attitudes. It has brought out some extraordinary darkness. And I don't go out and I do follow the rules. But that's not mainly because I'm told to by the government. I don't go out because I hate the vibe out there. I hate the negativity out there. I hate how panicked and terrified to the max everybody is. The vibration is like black tar. It is beyond toxic. And if your cortisol levels are high, your immune system lowers. The judgy, pointy fingers, the people getting right out of their pram because you dare to have a fucking opinion of your own. I am swearing. I am going to say this. And I'll probably get nasty comments. Knock yourselves out. I'm telling you this. This judgy behaviour, this darkness, your own frustration is being channeled in the wrong way, guys. I understand that you're hurting. I understand that you're scared. I understand that you're struggling, just like me and the rest of us. But the negativity, the darkness, the pointing, the judgmental, the shaming people because they've got an opinion different to your own is not helping. I appreciate you need help. I appreciate you need love in your moment of darkness. We are all in the same situation, but how we choose to react to it is key and paramount to our survival in getting through this. None of us really know for absolute fact, do we, exactly what is going on. We only know what we're told. Who actually even really knows? Okay, as you can probably hear by my accent, I'm here based in the UK. Does Bojo know? Boris Johnson, for those of you that are not used to our street slang. But does he actually know? He knows what he's being told by scientists. Who actually, properly, 1000% actually knows? Yes, we see a lot of press coverage by the frontline workers, by the NHS staff. And guys, I salute you. I thank you very much for your service, for your support. You are absolute gold with bells on. I'm going to get that in there right now. Yesterday, I went to the hospital for a check that was 6 months overdue. I'm quite high risk with a condition that I'm having to be checked for yearly. And the fact that I was 6 months overdue on that was a source of panic to me, as it's a hereditary condition. And the fact that I do need to be here for my kids. I'm only in my 40s and my children are not certainly anywhere near enough, old enough to look after themselves. And with no other family on the planet, support me should I suddenly leave this planet, then that was a source of worry to me. But going into that hospital, it was very controlled, it was very clean, it was empty, so it was great to be in and out. And I absolutely support you for your dedication and your hard work and your commitment. There is absolutely no dispute there. But who actually knows the complete full scale of this? None of us do, and that's where the panic is. It's fear of the unknown. This is crazy. Going into our second year, everyone's getting very excited because they've had the date of the 8th of March waved in their face. Guys, I hate to break it to you. This is just the next base post. Your kids ain't going back on the 8th of March. They're not, okay? That's probably something they might talk about in Parliament on that day. And trust me, the topic of homeschooling, I'm about to address right now. Lots of us are working or trying to work. I'm trying to build something so that I can start to work for myself. I am a single mum. I am currently in receipt of universal credit benefits, as I am desperately trying to raise 3 children, 2 with special needs, on my own. It's a very hard, very full-time job. A carers agency asked me the other day when they rang to offer me support, do you work? My response was quite irritated. Yes, I work harder than any of you in paid employment. I do not get holidays. I do not get toilet breaks. I do not get lunch breaks. And I only stop working in the early hours of the morning when my tasks are finished. So in response to your question, yes, I do work, but no, it's not paid employment work, okay? I work my absolute nuts off while struggling with my own mental health. The fact that we're still in incarceration here on a global scale, the fact that I've got 2 children with special needs, another child riddled with anxiety and going through adolescence, and the pressure is impossible when the phone isn't pinging constantly with school home learning updates. I'm going to tell you this, I'm ignoring the lot. Yes, the older 2 are remote learning off their own back because they're old enough to do it. The younger one, with the mental age of a 4-year-old, who's almost 7, is not. I'm not even going there. The amount of social media posts that I'm seeing of my poor beloved friends absolutely tearing their hair out, taking themselves beyond the point of reason because school keeps bombarding with all this shit. Yes, I appreciate schools that you're putting in a lot of work to put all this work together. What you should be doing is concentrating more on your own mental health and more on the mental health of those parents. I've opted out of Zoom sessions for a 6-year-old. I did it once. 30 screaming kids and their parents glaring at you through a screen, and me with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't think so. When my 6-year-old says to me, we don't have to do that loud screen again, do we? No, sweetheart, we don't. Bundles of paper sent home. He doesn't even comprehend. I even need to think about. And I'm a 45-year-old woman, educated to college level. So I can tell you, looking at some of these, the way they're worded, what? And now my child gets up again. He's been home over the last year, most of the time probably, because he's either been in isolation or the school's been shut down. Now, the one advantage to this is there's no head lice this year, so that's a bonus. But there are obviously far disadvantages outweigh this one little lovely thing that is not happening, okay? My child will remember this, period. But what I want them to remember is not mum being stressed and screaming and trying to get blood out of a stone because they're not receptive, because they just don't want to do it. I am not a qualified teacher or a Senko mental health worker. I am a parent with human, regular feelings who's been brutally honest here on YouTube and will probably get thrown against the wall for it. Give no fucks. Gonna be honest about this. My child's mental health is paramount. Also, the mental health of my other 2 children is paramount because they look and see everything. What I want them all to learn is honesty, self-love, being sensible here, finding a natural life balance in the time of a crisis. It's bad enough they're not allowed out. It's bad enough I have to leave them for extended periods unattended in a car that I can't even see them because they're not allowed into places. That I can tell you is absolutely terrifying, but has become the norm in a twisted kind of way. This isn't right. Okay? The fear every time the BBC News icon flashes up on my phone. For goodness sake. Really? Really, really? So this is what I'm saying. I am ranting about this. I am being honest. So all of you that are frightened to post on my social media because of what other people are saying, I hear you even though you don't speak. I understand you. And even if your opinions and your thoughts and your fears slightly contradict mine, I still respect them, guys. Okay? That goes for everyone. I am pissed off for this. I am sick of this. I ain't doing home learning. I'll read with the little one every now and again. We have lots of chats. We have lots of love. We're getting it on. I want my child to be relaxed and confident. They're not going to learn if they're not receptive, so you're running against the wind. But most of the time is I work so hard to get my mental health on some kind of workable balance. I'm not going to jeopardise it because someone demands that I tick boxes for them. Okay? Sort it out, world. Sort it out, government. I've had enough of this. We're doing our best. Guys, whatever you do that can work for you, please don't worry about judgment from others. Any of those that judge you don't truly care about you. There, I've said it. Okay? A lot of you, my friends, do have very, very opposite ideals and opinions to how I feel. But you don't know that I feel that way. Because as your friend, I love and respect you enough to not comment or disrespect your view. Okay? And so I hope by watching this, you will do the same for me. And everybody that watches this, I hope that you will do the same for each other. But one thing we really do have to do is get through this. And get through this with as much sanity as we can realistically muster intact. Okay? We are doing our absolute best, every single one of us, in different respective ways that we're attempting to get to work for us. We're not all the same. All of our opinions and fears and ways of working are different, but that doesn't mean there should be judgment and finger pointing and condemnation. We should all love and support each other unconditionally, guys, okay? Whether you agree with something or not, here's your bag. You see something upsets you? Don't get keyboard warrior-y. Scroll on, guys, yeah? In love and light, scroll on. We're all fighting the same battle, but we're all doing it in different ways. One day this will be over and we'll look back. And a lot of us have lost friends, yeah? It's Brexit all over again, isn't it? But with bells on. But a lot of us have made some wonderful friends. And a lot of us have found things that we never thought we would find. And a lot of us have learned things about ourselves that we probably wouldn't have learned otherwise. There are positives, but let's be brutally honest, the negatives do far outweigh the positives. And it is like trying to wade through tar some days, most days. So I get it. So I'm refusing to be put on referral lists. I'm refusing to be put on waiting lists. Because it's just a carrot that's being dangled that isn't going to happen. And no one can do anything for you at this moment. But we can do things for each other, okay? And we can be there for each other. Supportively, emotionally, okay? We can hold each other's space. We can put our pointy fingers away. And we can lean forward with our positive energy and love one another. Guys, I have no idea when this is going to end. But it ain't going to end anytime soon. And the kids ain't going back in March. And we've just got to do everything that we can do for our own reasons. But know that we really, really, really must be kind to one another. Bill and Ted had it right when they said, be excellent to one another. Cheesy, but bloody true. Guys, we're all struggling, but do know that I love you. And thank you so much if you got to the end of this rant and you are listening. Please take my love. Peace out.